so they have to do this with the horses so their muscles doesn't get sore. There, this horse just got put on, and you see he's wearing a blanket. He's just come back from the track from exercising, and on these cool days they put a blanket on them and help them to dry out, and then later on they'll, when it warms up, they'll take the blankets off. These horses are used to being in and used to warm weather, and they can't afford to let them get chilled when they're getting ready to race. Could tie up a muscle and they could get hurt. This is Mr. Buckles. He's a mascot on this training farm. He's been here for a long time. In fact, he was in the parade in Cameron, Texas when he was just a little kid, and he was Rudolph the reindeer. This is Corky Keene. This is Coach Keene's father, and he is a farrier, and he's going to put a shoe on this horse. This is one of the Thoroughbreds on the Dallas Keene training stable, and he's going to put on these shoes. These are aluminum shoes. They're lightweight, and he's prepared the hoof, and now he's going to fit the shoe. It's very important that the shoe fits the horse's foot. Just like it's important if you go buy a pair of shoes, you want them to fit, especially if you're athletic and you buy racing shoes or shoes to run in. You want them to fit and be very comfortable and lightweight. This that he's using to shape the shoe is called a stall jab. And as you notice, the hammer he used to shape the shoe is heavier than the one he's going to use when he starts putting the nails in the shoe.
Okay, so I prepare this foot. Got it all ready to nail. I got everything just like I want it. I take my hoof gauge and I take a reading as what the angle is on this horse. This particular horse here is a 53. Check that everything is good and level, that the foot is real level. I can see with my eye, most of the time they're level, but I always check myself with this as well. This not only tells me the angle of the foot, but it also tells me whether I've got that foot real level. So when this sets on there, there's no daylight anywhere under. It just fits right down like it's supposed to. I'll set this foot down and I'll prepare the other foot. I want it to the same length of toe, the same angle, before I nail this shoe on. Once I nail the shoe on, it's too late to change anything if I want to change it. This mare was shod back about 30 or 40 days ago, 35 days ago, I think. And it's time to change these shoes. This mare will race probably next week. She won her last race. And now it's time, sure, because her hoof keeps growing just like your toenails keep growing. So you have to trim them down. And this is, you trim the foot down. After you get the foot trimmed down, then you shape the shoe to fit the foot. If you don't get the shoe to fit the foot, so then you wind up fitting the foot to the shoe, and that's not good. Pinches their feet. It's kind of like you wearing too small a shoe or a shoe that's too short. Really, you should get them, especially on the race horses.
Tell them about the frog in the horse's foot. I'll close up on it.
The frog. Right here, this is the frog of the foot. These right in here called the bars. It braces the foot, called the bars. You just trim them out a little. You don't cut them out much because they need that to brace that foot.
And what purpose is the frog?
What?
Tell them what the purpose of the frog in the horse's foot, what that does.
When the horse is running, when his foot hits the ground, it gets the pressure here, pumps the blood back up his leg, so it's like he's an extra heart. The heart here pumps it down, this pumps it back, and it's
So it really aids in circulation.
circulation. That's the thing. You trim off the sides of it. You don't take much off the top. You use that so when he hits the ground, it pumps that blood back up to him.
So even though you're putting shoes on the horse, you want it so that when he makes contact with the ground, he's still going to get some frog pressure?
Yes, you always want frog pressure. If a horse he's not getting frog pressure, why he's not
Going to perform well, right?
That foot is not doing what it should do. The foot stays, like to keep a foot pliable, keep the frog pliable, so it pumps good. If it gets too dry and hard, it don't work like it should. So occasionally you paint your feet or stand them in water and soften them. Keep what I'm cutting off here would be just like what you trim off the end of your toenails. This is no pain at all to the horse. Now if I went deeper, why, it would start hurting just like you cut your fingernail back halfway up to where the growth starts. Why, the blood would start running.
So in trimming, like if you was trimming your fingernails, you just cut off the excess, and that's what you're doing on this
That's right,
horse.
yeah.
Just taking off the
I don't
excess.
want to take it too close because I don't want him to sting when he hits the ground. I don't want it to something that'll sting that foot. I always check myself every little bit to be sure things are shaping like they're supposed to. I don't know if you can see this line around here. It's what we call the white line.
Okay, let me get just a little closer there.
The white line.
Okay.
There's called the lamina. And when you nail, you try to put your nails. You can start your nail in the lamina as long as it comes out. If you start it inside, you're in blood. I mean,
It would hurt the horse then.
He'd jerk loose. He'd be lame.
It'd be like getting a sliver under your fingernail. It would hurt once you get it up under where it's tender.
What I'm doing here now, I trimmed the foot. I want to be sure got the white line down. So when I nail the shoe on, I'm not putting too much pressure on the white line or inside the white line. I want most of the weight on the wall of the foot. This outside shell is called the wall. Wall, the lamina, the sole, the frog, and then these are the bars. These right in here. You see a little dark spot in his foot there? That is just on the foot here. That just it's not deep. It's just a little ways there. Occasionally these get deep, and a horse actually gets an infection down in there, and they'll go lame. Turns into an abscess, and then we have to go in there and cut them out. Takes a little longer for them to get over it. So what I do when I be sure everything is set like I want it. Okay, I'm exactly the same angle as I was on the other foot. Now I'm just a little bit high right there. So I take my rasp and I'll hit it right here. 2 or 3 times. Just not hard, but just enough to make sure I'm all right here. Take my hoof gauge again. Angle, of course, the angle, I didn't change the angle, but now I'm fitting down good and solid on there, see? So, now, where I've got this little bit of fungus in a spot here, little spot there, little bitty spot here. This is strong iodine, and I just put a little bit of it to go ahead and kill any fungus that might be trying to grow there. And then I check it again when I shoe him again in 30 days. we like to shoe them about every 30 to, so minimum 30, maximum 40, 45 on some horses, but we try to stay pretty close to the 30 days on them. I always step back and I look and be sure that everything looks right to me too. So. This is the aluminum shoe, the way it looks before I start shaping it. It's shaped basically the shape of a horse's foot, but they never fit like just exactly right, or very seldom once in a 400 or 500 head of horses you might find a horse that you can pull the shoe out of the box and it'll fit. Okay, see that's real wide, so I got to check to be sure we're fitting here at the toe. We're fitting good at the toe, they're real wide. I can't just bend it in, or then I'm going to be too narrow at the toe, and it'll be looking like that. So now what I got to do is keep my width at the toe, and then start bringing the side of the shoe in. This takes the place of an anvil. It's easy to move, where a heavy anvil is. I'll bring the other side in a little bit. None of the shoes you don't hit them really hard, but it don't take too much to move them, and you get them, you can beat them around, and they look, they're hard to handle if you pound on too hard. Starting to fit there, got in a little bit over here.
What size shoe is that, Corky?
This is a 6, and a level grip. This is a shoe with very little toe grab. Makes it a little easier on the horse's legs.
So what are the sizes that the shoes come in for these horses in this particular shoe?
The race horses, they start, a small shoe is a size 3, a 4, a 5, 6, and a 7. A 7 is as big as you can get in a race plate. You have to have something bigger than that. Then you got to go to a steel shoe, and sometimes you have to even have them made if the horse got just too big a foot. But a 7 is a pretty big foot. Seldom we have to, I have run onto a few horses that this mare's got a real funny spot in her foot there, and it's a little hard to fit just exactly like I want her. Sometimes it may look like it about fits, but about fit is not good enough. It's got to be exact. It's just, if it isn't exact, it don't fit exactly right, it's exactly wrong. So you want to be sure that it fits. That's the.
What is one of the reasons, like, that you need the shoe to fit so good on a horse? Like with people, it might hurt your foot, but what's the importance on a horse if you didn't get that shoe to fit just right? What would that do to his performance?
Well, if that shoe isn't fitting right, you leave it like it's hanging over there.
Mm-hmm.
The horse will step on it, or
step on it with another foot?
Yeah, well, it's a little hard for me to show you here, but if it's a hanging, I'm showing you in a reverse type thing. See, if it's a hanging over, the horse will step, he jerk that shoe off. So you want it to fit just exactly right. And if my shoe is too narrow, then I see that wall is just, you see, it's just right here. It's probably not much over a 1/16 of an inch wide. So if I set that shoe inside and I take that foot off, see, I'm clear into the quick line. This horse has got nothing to brace his foot, so when he's running and he's hitting, that starts hurting.
So he could
You'll run on it for a ways, but it's kind of like having a rock in your shoe. When you can run for a little ways with a rock in your shoe, but you leave it there very long, and you're not going to run because it's hurting, and you got to pull up.
So he could get lame.
Yeah, the horse will get real lame on it, because you got to remember, when these horses hit the ground, they're hitting the ground with that foot with 1,000 pounds of pressure. When he hits that ground, he isn't just patting the ground with a few pounds. He's got that entire body weight on that foot. Many times, just one foot's on the ground, the other 3 are off the ground when the horse is running. And it's
Also, if you don't get the horse shot just perfectly level all the way around and every foot the same, he can interfere And could you explain what interfering is?
When a horse is running, the front foot comes past, or the back foot comes past the front foot. And if you don't, if you've got that foot out of balance or this, and he might throw this foot a little wide. Say I left him too high on the outside here. He throws that foot out, then that hind foot will start hitting him right in here.
Yep.
Or the hind foot will come back and he'll be hitting them right here, just inside the hop. They hit, and they'll come back with it. Just you look like you've taken a little axe and worked on them there. I've seen them cut where the blood runs clear down the leg.
They're not going to run very well with that,
Oh,
are
it
they?
starts hurting. It's just like if you're running and
They're wanting to quit.
kicked yourself on the ankle sometime when you was running, and you know how that hurts. And if you just keep running like that, and then they start changing their way of going, trying to protect themselves, and they usually wind up getting a little worse. Mare's comes around and straightens out here and then comes in, so it's real hard to get the shoe to fit just exactly like I want it.
Now, how old did you say this mare is?
This mare is just a 2-year-old.
She's a 2-year-old. What's her name?
Her name is Corky.
Corey Cahill.
Yeah. Corky.
Has she raced before?
I think she's run 3 times. She run a second, she run a 5th, and then she won.
Oh, and she's
She
already
did
won
run
a
in a
race.
few
I guess
days
you
again,
told us
and
that earlier.
She's a pretty nice filly. This filly's
She's-
just going up and run.
And she's just 2. And she's going to race. When is she going to race again?
Well, just probably within the next week.
I see.
In about a week, I'd say. Just as soon as her race comes up that she's eligible for, she'll run. Boy, it's hard to fit. She's got a flat spot in her foot there. Real hard to get her just exactly like you want her. Like I say, close is not good enough. It's got to be exact. Alright, now we're starting to get there. Alright, this part right in here, as you hangs over toward the frog, there is a potential spot for dirt to hang up in there. So I cut that out, rasp it out, or I use these little bolt cutters and I cut that little bit out. But when that foot goes down in the deep dirt, the dirt don't hang there and come back up with the foot, or she's picking up more weight. And when you just cut these out, then it takes a little extra time fitting them like that, like you want, but it's, to me, it's just one of those things that sure needs to be done. Okay, real close there now. Just about ready to. I do after I
Now, why are you rasping that?
just to smooth it up, make it a little smoother, and it just. I done a lot. Usually I just do it like this, but then it saves me a lot of time when I use the little bolt cutter. Cut that out. I do this on saddle horses and rope horses and stuff too, because it's just. And also, if you leave that in there, there's a spot that a rock is hanging, and of course, say a rock hangs in there between the frog and that, and he walks a few miles or runs a ways or a mile with a rock in there hitting in the bottom of his foot. He bruises the bottom of his foot, and then you've got a spot there that that rock stays in there. You see the way this fit now. This is gonna fit. You see now. Okay, now this one here's a little spot right there. I would take this and just kind of clean this corners out on these. Horseshoe nails, size 3.5. What we call a 3.5 race nail for these little shoes. Because that wall is so thin on these horses that you want a small nail. See that? And like here's the size of a nail for just like for a saddle horse, no rope horse, ranch horse. That size. This is for more your arena type horses that are working the arena barrel racing. That's that size nail, but the race horses is these little ones.
Mr. Keene has a magnet on the side of his shafts that holds the nails for him so that he can reach around there conveniently and get the nails. He doesn't have to reach to his box every time.
And I had that shoe fit for the other foot, and I picked up the wrong
Oh.
foot, and it didn't fit just right, see? So they're, even though they look like they're about the same, they measure the same, but the foot is not just exactly the same.
So even each foot on a horse, they're all unique. They're not always shaped exactly the same. It's kind of like people. They say that one foot's a little bigger than the other, even on people.
I had the magnet there from a nail, see, and I dropped that nail. I've
Yeah,
also got a magnet here.
On the,
If I drop a nail, I can use this. Makes my arm a little longer to pick it up.
he's got a magnet on the end of his hammer handle.
Sure saves me a lot of work. A lot of times you drop them and you just can't reach them without setting the horse down. Every time you set him down, pick him up, that's just that much more work on you. That much more pressure on your back. This is a job that'll test your back.
You can see in the position that Mr. Keene has to be in to shoe a horse. He has to be bent over, and he tries to make the horse as comfortable as he can, because holding its foot up so that the more comfortable the horse is, the better he's going to stand. So that makes the man have to get into some different positions sometimes in order to accomplish that.
One horse or so is no problem, but after you do it all day long, you sure appreciate it when they stand. If they don't stand, they work you pretty hard. These nails have a little bit of a slope right on the end of them, the end. So you got a little checker on this side. You put the checker to the inside, that makes the slope come out. So when I drive this nail, it goes down there and it comes out where you want it there. If I put that nail in backwards, it would go into his foot, and
He wouldn't like that, would he?
he'd be lame and just instantly.
Well, it would probably hurt him, and he would probably jerk his foot away, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Oh.
And that could be dangerous to the man's health too.
Come on, girl. Stand up. Fly season always makes a lot more work because the flies start bothering them and they want it. See, there's a fly right there on that leg. See, she was wanting to pick that foot up because that fly was biting. See, try to keep the flies off. It's good when you got somebody to hold her. That helps if you got to hold her. Makes the holder can kind of look, if they see them flies, and shoo them away. Kind of makes the horse stand a little bit better. This is called a clinch block. I set it under the nail, then I hit the nail. That tightens that nail down good, see? I don't want this shoe to come off. If this shoe comes off during the race, it don't come off all at once. It comes off part way off, then it's liable to hit the horse on the leg and cut his leg. Races, you don't want them coming off because that might cost you the race. I was riding races back a long time ago, and I was in behind some horses, and the shoe come off, and I had some goggles on, and the shoe hit me and broke my goggles. If I hadn't had my goggles on, it would have probably broke my nose, or cut my nose anyway. It broke my goggles. I bring this foot forward, and then just take the extra foot that's under that nail and kind of make a spot so when I my clenchers, what I'll do is finish clenching those nails down. I got them turned and I got them tightened. I put this, go ahead and tighten them down good. So I always make that mark under them first so that you got some place for it to go when you see. Now when I do this, I'm cutting shoe hard. Really no hoof at all. Just smoothing the hoof and the shoe together real, just blending it right, just
He's getting front for you to finish this up. Can I
That's fine, go ahead.
turn it off for a minute here?
When I
Might be kind of dark in here. I don't know.
don't know what I'll take toward that light of mine.
I
Again, I just
think it's just a silhouette now.
tighten that nail down.
Yeah, I don't think. Sounds good. Okay, did you get that one done?
I got that.
Okay, then we're gonna run out of time here, so we want to thank you, Mr. Keene, for showing us what you've been doing here with this nice filly. And he's still got to put shoes on. Have you done? You got to do the back ones.
I got to do the back one.
And
But I always put on both front ones before I nail the shoe on so that
he likes to get